Dude, I just want to just give me 2 minutes, guys. I just want to actually have a look at this survey. I know that this is like everyone's already done this, but I'll try and be like really quick. I'll just spend like a few minutes on this. Okay, log in with Discord. Are you guys okay if I do like 5 minutes of this survey? I'm just interested in what questions it asks. The Classic Plus survey. Just skip to the sections you can do. Okay. There's only like, you have to do this intro thing, Quercy, which will take like 2 seconds. What faction do you usually play? Alliance. What race would you consider your main? Dwarf. Even though my main is actually a Draenei, which is fucked. What class do you consider your main? I mean, at the moment, I guess Paladin. How old are you? I am washed up, 31 to 36. How often do you play WoW each week? Every day I can. I play WoW a lot, 40 plus hours. I'm probably not 40 plus hours. I'm not 40 plus hours. I'm probably 20 plus hours. What was your experience of the various iterations of Vanilla Classic and WoW? I played... I've never played Vanilla. I actually have played Vanilla. I'm not an OG though. I'm not there from 2004, but I started before Wrath of the Lich King. So I'm just going to put both of these. What role do you usually play? I usually play, I guess, a healer. I usually play a healer, I suppose. What regions do you play from? NA, OCE. What are the following labels describe you? I'm a casual raider. I'm an auction house gamer. I do love the auction house, man. I've spent a lot of time fucking around with the auction house. And I guess like I'm a leveler. Hardcore. I mean, they don't really have hardcore player in terms of like hardcore death equals delete. They've just got hardcore raider. So how likely are you to play Classic Plus? I'll play. Depends on the quality. Yep, I'd say that's fair. Would you pay a box fee for Classic Plus? If so, yeah, sure. I would in theory, if it's really good. Of course I would pay. I would pay for it, definitely. If I had to. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about Classic Plus if they changed how the game looked via Unreal Engine-esque graphics? Jesus. Oh, dude, man. I think for Classic Plus, I hate the idea of Unreal Engine-esque graphics. Oh, but like, are they just talking about... And by the way, I'm trying not to read the chat because I don't want to be influenced by you guys. I don't mind the idea of them improving lighting, polygon count, etc., but I don't want it to be Unreal Engine-esque graphics, so I'm just going to say 3. Modern WoW character models, I reckon like a 5. I don't mind updates. Like I like the way the Blood Elf and the Draenei look as a more kind of like high res kind of character model. I don't mind classic models getting like a little bit of a refurb. Modern WoW character animations, keep it classic. Modern WoW spell effects, keep it classic. Man, I actually don't have a pre-existing opinion of what I want from Classic Plus going into this. So I'm not trying to like wedge my image of Classic Plus onto this. I actually am sort of deciding on the spot. Modern WoW UI, player target frames, action bars, nameplates. Yeah, I would probably be quite keen on that. I'm going to say like a 7. I like the character of the old system though, but I kind of feel like when it went from Classic to TBC and it all got updated, I quite like that. And I liked some of the new UI updates, so I'm going to bump it up on that. How would you like Blizzard to handle the server rollout? Multiple servers, some PvP, some PvE, a couple RP, blah, blah, blah. Content server, like in odds, with consolidation happening over time. 1 mega PvP server with faction balance in force. I'm going to say many servers at launch, some PvP, some PvE. I feel like that's fine. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers resetting every couple of years? Jesus, man. An element of seasonal servers, I would say yes. I do think Fresh is I think Fresh reinvigorates the game and brings people back to it. So I think yes, Fresh is best part of the game. I would agree with that. How would you feel about layers in Classic? Oh god, no layers in Classic Plus. Layers are fine, no opinion. Fuck, that's a crazy call. No layers would probably be completely fucked, but I do hate layers. Like, they're annoying, but they make the world more livable. Jesus, man, I actually don't know. What version of WoW has no layers? It's just like doesn't even exist. I actually find it so hard to decide on this one. I think we need layers, or we just can't play the game. I just don't think it works without layers. I guess the only other way you can do it is have maximum capacity and queue times. Which, I don't mind that idea. Although, I don't fucking know, man. Then you need lots of servers. And then we all end up on different servers. Or we can't play on the ones that everyone else is playing on. There's so many trade-offs. I think I'd probably lean towards layers are fine. I would lean towards layers are fine. Yeah, layers for the first... anyway, so Nico, I'll try not to read chat, but you're right. Should the size of raids be reduced from 40? Keep them at 40. Reduce the required raid size, but implement flex rating so we can bring more players and the challenge stays the same. I would be leaning towards... Are we talking about like Molten Core and shit? Or are we talking about new raids? I prefer smaller raid sizes, I'd say. This is probably going to be not very classic, but I actually don't mind flex. I actually don't mind flex, the way that works in retail. I don't hate that. I think it's kind of cool that the loot table adjusts based on how many people are there, the difficulty. I don't mind flex at all. I think they should have flex. Yep. Should Dungeon Finder be implemented? No, but yes, but only to group you. It's still up to you to get a travel to the dungeon. I like it done in Modern WoW by auto grouping and teleporting. I know. No, I don't think so. Only to group you. It's still up to... Wait a minute. What are we talking about here? Are we just talking about... Are we talking about Dungeon Finder like on retail where it groups you automatically with people? It's up to you to travel to the dungeon. So does it group you automatically with people, or are we just talking about looking for group? No, you know what? I don't want Dungeon Finder because that's actually just you sign up as DPS and then you go, your group is ready. I don't think that doesn't feel classic to me. Should summoning stones outside dungeons and raids be implemented? I say yes. I know not everyone's going to agree with that one, but I think the pre-patch addition of summoning stones is cool, and I just enjoy it more. I don't care if the world's a little bit emptier with people traveling to dungeons. I can live with that. I just personally prefer to just be able to summon or be summoned. You still have people that have to make it there. I think that's fine. Should there be heroic dungeons? Yes, I think there should be difficulty, like the same content but at higher difficulty levels. I definitely think that's the case. Yeah. Should there be rated PvE in Classic, Mythic Plus, Mage Tower, Prestige levels, level 60 rating leaderboards? Is it weird if I say yes? Now, I'm not talking about Mage Tower, Prestige levels, or any of that shit, but I'm kind of into the idea of it having Mythic Plus. So I'm going to say yes. I'm all for that. Like if Blizzard said, we're going to have a Mythic Plus system with keys, and you're going to be doing dungeons up to whatever difficulty level you want. But the thing is, man, they would have to make the dungeons so fucking insane to be able to justify being at such a high difficulty level that no one can play it, that I just think it just turns into retail dungeons. Like it doesn't keep... So I'm actually just not sure. But I would lean towards yes and not worry about the side effects. I like the idea of there being a difficulty profession. You're saying hell no, Muzza? Anyway, I'm trying not to look at the chat. Should there be rated PvP in Classic, rated Battlegrounds Arenas dueling in Classic Plus? Yes. Should AoE looting be implemented? Yes. Yep, I think so. What features of world buffs would you want to see in Classic Plus? I would say no world buffs ever. I would say get rid of world buffs. Although, I would like far less frequent world buffs. I think world buffs are a complete fucking joke. I think they're a complete joke. Dude, it should be like once a day there's a world buff, max. I think. I mean, I don't know. I just think get rid of world buffs. I think world buffs suck. How could I need my world buff fix? I'm a junkie. No, I just think get rid of world buffs completely. They don't make any sense. They completely... I think they completely undermine the difficulty or like... The difficulty or leveling curve of the game as intended. I know that world buffs... I don't know the history of world buffs or when they came into the game, but they're a complete fucking joke. When you've got a world buff, you're like, oh, the game's like a fucking walk in the park, and I'll go back and get another world buff as soon as I want. It's a complete joke, man. I would get rid of them in an instant. And they're annoying. I don't want to go to Booty Bay. I don't want to go to Stormwind. I think they're like disruptive. How would you feel if Classic Plus trimmed the capabilities of add-ons and weak auras? I prefer my add-ons and weak auras. Leave them alone. I wouldn't go as far as saying I wouldn't play it, but I like add-ons. I love add-ons. I don't really care about weak auras, but out of combat quality of life add-ons, sure. I mean, I don't care at all about add-ons. I don't care at all. As long as the existence of add-ons is not driving the game design, like they're not designing it to be harder to combat add-ons or something, then I don't care. As long as it feels like the raid encounters, the dungeon encounters are authentic, then who gives a shit whether somebody has an add-on or not? I'm definitely pro add-ons. I love add-ons. Should mount level requirements be lowered? No, keep them the same. Dude, I feel like I'm answering this survey and changing nothing. I'm not sure what I'm actually changing. I guess what I'm changing is like new classic style raids and new classic style dungeons, adding Mythic Plus, and then adding some of the conveniences of like retail maybe. Should flying mounts be implemented in Classic Plus? No. Should guild banks be implemented? Yes. Why not? There's probably some side effects to that, some consequences, but I don't care. What's wrong with guild banks? I don't mind guild banks. Should Classic Plus have achievements? Yes. I think they should have achievements. As long as they're good achievements. Just make them good achievements, not stupid shit. Just make them cool. Make them like actual achievements, like hardcore classic achievements. You know, like hardcore add-on achievements were cool. Yeah, hard ones, like actual achievements. Not like, you know, dunk to pumpkin 10 times at a one-time only Halloween event. Like, that's fucking stupid. I hate the way retail has those kinds of achievements. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you bobbed for apples at this one point in the calendar in 2009. Like, no. They should be like, you took down Illidan. Yeah, cool, great. You know what I mean? Like, that's an achievement. You achieved something. You looted 100,000 gold or whatever the fuck. You're like, I mean, even that's probably a bit of a shit one, but yeah, I don't like the participation trophy achievements. Should reputations be streamlined, made easier to level? No. How do you feel about adding but then again, I don't have a good sense of how hard they are. But from my perspective, hard is okay. That's fine. How do you feel about adding transmog? Transmog is bad. Transmog is bad. Should a separate collections inventory be implemented for toys and mounts? Yes. That's a UI thing that I wouldn't mind. I don't mind the UI changing like that. I think that's okay. Should Classic Plus allow GDKPs? Oh, fuck. No opinion. Don't care. Should the level cap ever be increased from 60? Oh, interesting. Should the level cap ever be increased from 60? That's a big question, man. That's a hard one. Do they add new, like, they're going to add new raids, they're going to add new things, or do they also add new leveling experiences? Essentially create like an expansion. Because then what that also brings with it is like your gear becoming outdated. Yeah, I would probably lean towards no on that. Guys, I'm going to be so late for work. It doesn't matter though. Should Classic Plus have new zones? New zones. Yes. Wait, should it? Yes. I think so. I think design a new zone. Don't do too many. Do we trust them to do a good zone? This is assuming that they're going to do a good job. Wait a minute. Do we? But if you think that they can add, if you think they can add a new raid or they could add a new dungeon, why can't they add a new zone? What's wrong with that? Flesh out the existing zones, keep the original zones and expand on them. I would kind of be keen to see a new zone. I'd be kind of keen to see a good quality classic style zone as well as improving existing zones. That would feel original and fresh to me. That would add more substance to it than just we've added a new raid and that now we're calling it that this is Classic Plus. I feel like this gives it a bit more meat to be like, and there's a new zone. Like that to me is like, there's potentially something exciting in that. So I'd say yes. If yes, where in Azeroth or beyond would you be okay for these zones to be? Only on the main 2 continents, anywhere in Azeroth and any other planet dimension is fine. Only on one of the main 2 continents. Yeah, add a new zone within the existing dead space somewhere in the continents. Should new content be added for leveling, quests, low-level zones or dungeons? Yes. Should leveling be sped up? No. Should there be more class-specific quests? Yeah, but only to unlock ability spells like warlocks, demons, or priest racials. Yeah, leveling should definitely not be sped up. Should there be more class specific quests? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think yes. And the only reason I'm not going for this option is because I kind of think about SOD and I don't want them adding too many new abilities. So if they added class quests for abilities, then they'd have to add lots of extra abilities. I don't really want that. I just want it to be, yes, there should be class quests. Should there be more epic quest lines? Yes. Make the game have that kind of shit that you have to look up on Wowhead because it's fucking complicated. I think that makes Classic cool and difficult. Shit that makes you travel around the place. It's always your choice whether you do it or not, but having it there adds good content to the game. Which of the following best describes how you'd like to see changes in Classic Plus to old raids? Okay. I prefer the old raids exactly how they were, tune them as needed for any change in player power, but keep the spirit of the original raid. Add more complex, difficult mechanics similar to SOD. Or do all of the above, plus add new bosses and areas within them. Oh, fuck me, man. I would say tune them as needed for a change in player power. Make them more difficult. I wouldn't add new shit to them. Oh, fuck. What am I talking about? Do we add new shit? No. This is a tough one. Man, I'm not a super experienced Classic raider, so it's also difficult to speak to it. But I would probably just tune them so that they feel authentic and they feel good and they feel really fun to play. But don't go crazy with them. Don't go crazy with them. Make them challenging. But that's it. Make the bosses. I mean, I've seen these S-Fan videos where he's talking about how original Classic was a lot harder. Like the bosses had more health. They were more difficult to kill compared to Classic now. I like that idea. He was talking about how when you originally raided those raids, the fights were so difficult. You actually got to see all the mechanics, but now you just like stomp those bosses. They're so easy. So you don't get the richness of like the full fight, you know. So I like that idea of actually making the raids harder, or adding those difficulty tiers as well. Should there be new raids? Only stuff that already exists in the original Azeroth. Propose raids that already exist in the world plus. Plus create some new interesting content like Scarlet Enclave. Yep, I'm keen on that. Yep. I'm keen on them creating new interesting stuff that's based on the existing content within Classic and isn't a like radical departure. I don't want to suddenly going off to like a different planetary system and doing some fucking crazy shit, but like, yeah, I like the idea of that. Dude, are we up to like the final fucking end of the survey? Holy shit. Should Classic Plus have new playable races, and if so, which of the following categories would be acceptable? No new races, keep the original 8. Should Classic Plus have new classes? No. Should new race class combos be added? No. No. I don't want to add anything like that. Should the Horde have paladins and the Alliance shamans? No. Leave it as vanilla. Oh wait, paladins and the Alliance shamans. No, leave it as vanilla. I think that's what makes... I think that's just like more genuine to Classic. Should classes be reworked? New base abilities and spells, class role combinations. No. Although I think about Poach complaining about combo point persistence. I think some quality of life things, but don't fix what ain't broke. Yep, I think so. What is the most important change needed to raid buffs in Classic? You may want to pick multiple. Okay. 1 hour long buffs. Change to raid buffs in Classic. I have no opinion on raid buffs. I'm not experienced enough. I mean, look, I could have an opinion on these looking at the options, but I'm just going to say no opinion. Should talent specialization be reworked? No, somewhat, but only with a light touch. Absolutely, I want to see reworks across the board. I've got no opinion on that. I actually just don't know what they're talking about here. Should talents be reworked? I mean, I would err towards saying no or somewhat, but no. I just think no opinion. Should a 4th new talent specialization be added for classes? Guardian, Druid, Tank, Shaman? No. No new specs. I think don't change the player, change the game. You know, that's like my general feeling on this. It's like create new content, but keep the player experience, like the character, the class, the abilities, keep that all original. Should every specialization be... Like, what I found ridiculous about SOD was not... Well, not ridiculous, but what I found kind of weird about SOD was not the experimentation with the raids and the dungeons. Those were sick. It was like all the fucking around with the classes that was weird. It was fun for like a little bit, but I just thought it was like really unusual. I didn't love it. I wouldn't like to see that in Retail Plus. Should every specialization be competitive in both PvE and PvP? Every spec should be viable in all scenarios. No. Not in most cases, vanilla hybrid classes don't perform well in PvE. They could use a bit of love. No, every spec needs to be perfectly overtuning. Not every spec needs to be perfectly raid or PvP viable. Overtuning for PvE balance could break PvP and vice versa. I think let the chips fall where they are, and then like that's it. I don't think change the players, don't change the characters. Should dual spec be implemented? Yes. Okay, that is where I'm gonna fucking disagree a little bit here. I think dual spec is actually dope. I think have dual spec. Should new professions be added? No, the originals are fine. I'm not a profession Andy, so like it's hard to judge, but I'd say no. I think the original professions are cool. Should professions be updated to have more endgame relevance? No opinion. I don't have a strong opinion on that. All right, we're done. All right, I'm not doing the rest. I've done the intro. We did it.